We've been in areas where people are saying, hey, you're only focusing on girls, but you're saying it's a dual program. Even the boys need to be part of this. How do you make them be part of this? Also giving them the space to speak about the issues they're talking about. Because I might not understand what the boys are going through in their spaces. So Peter, just introduce yourself.
Thank you. So we might have met. I've seen faces that we have met. But yes, my name is Peter Ujamaa. I'm a youth beneficiary from Ujamaa Africa. So I come from Korogocho, from a family of 4, 2 girls and 2 boys. So 2 important women in my life were sexually assaulted. I'm talking about my mom, who was raped at the age of 12. She was raped by a close relative. Talking about my youngest sister, who was also sexually assaulted at the same age. So I grew up very angry at everything that happened around me. And my community, Korogocho, taught me that the best thing I can do is become a gang leader. All I want to do is revenge. All I wanted to do is, yes, I want to be that person who does bad things to people. Because that is what happened to me. That is what my community taught me to do. But at the age of 13, Ujamaa Africa came to our school and taught us these classes. So I normally remember these sessions like it was yesterday. So this person gets to a class wearing a no t-shirt, wearing a no t-shirt with a no graffiti on it, and I could not concentrate. I was angry at everything that was happening. And I remember very well, I was a bully seated behind the class. So this guy gets to a class, and then he asked a question that triggered my mind. So he asked, do you think it is girls' fault when they are sexually assaulted? And being angry at everything, I shouted, yes, it is their fault. So without thinking about my mom or my sister, with other boys following back with a big yes, yes, it is their fault. Then he asked this question again. Girls at the age of 6, 8, 9 are assaulted, are raped, are killed every day. Do you really think it is their fault? Then what this caused, it actually caused a hassle in my brain, because are you trying to question where I come from? Are you trying to tell me that my community was wrong? Are you trying to tell me that my dad was wrong? So the sessions went on, and they taught us about values. They taught us about how women and girls are equal. So what this caused me to do is, with each time by, he reminded us the same question. Do you still think it is their fault? So we were transformed boys and girls, and we all yelled, no, it is not their fault. And through the sessions, I came to learn that I can actually step up for women and girls in my life. I came to learn that I can defend the girls and women in my life by just changing a subject, calling for allies, or even involving adults, and working at Ujamaa Africa, like being taught the program and coming back to work for Ujamaa Africa. This is the only thing I want to do. I would say for the rest of my life. I want to help boys step up and intervene for the girls and women in their life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter. Because of time, I would really love to invite Naima, and I'm asking her.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The room is so quiet. Can see the concentration, right? So I love, when I go to each session, I love to tell everyone, just repeat after me. We are in this together. Okay? When I finish my sentence, you repeat, we are in this together. Okay. My name is Naima. I want to transform my community.
We are in this together.
Very nice. We are here, all of us, we are here because we want to transform our communities, right? So my name is Naima Abdullahi. I'm also the beneficiary of Ujamaa Africa. I was very privileged that Ujamaa Africa trained me. So as all of you know, young girls and young women from northern part of Kenya, specifically Muslim ladies, they undergo a lot of challenges, like the issues of early marriage, FGM, and I can say personally I underwent through FGM, and I narrowly escaped early marriage because in our community, like, we are engaged even without our knowledge, you know? Like someone has already booked you, and maybe you're 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. So I was booked, I was engaged at a very early stage. I am coming from a community, I can say it is dangerous per se because it is Korogocho. Every one of you should come and visit Korogocho, you know? Because in Korogocho, you know, everything is happening. And sometimes people from out of my community think that women and girls from Muslim community are very protected and they don't undergo all these forms of assault, but that is not true. That is far from true because we experience a lot of challenges. Imagine if you're 7 years old and already you've experienced FGM. So imagine the challenges start at a very tender age. I'm so fortunate that Ujamaa visited my school when I was 12 years old, and they taught me how to use my voice, how to negotiate, and also how to de-escalate all these situations. I remember using all these skills even to the boys and the men around my society to tell them like, no, I don't want this, don't do this to me. Because if you don't speak, then assault will continue and continue and you'll never know when it will end. I live in that dangerous society, and I remember using TEL principle. We have it in our curriculum that we'll be able to share later. To report a man who was assaulting a number of girls. He was a watchman in a hospital, so he assaulted a number of girls. And by the time we were taught, and by the time Ujamaa told us we're supposed to report, I remember like 4 of us, we went and reported the men. We go and told our mothers, this man is really assaulting this girl, and that man was arrested. I am now, I can say now I am empowered. I am assertive. Huh? I can also use my voice just because of Ujamaa. I really fear for the girls who are in that community and they are not being taught. I fear for the girl that you have not reached yet. You know, because they don't have that power to speak up, to say what they're supposed to say. Ujamaa Africa really is doing great because I'm now working as a county project coordinator in Kajiado, and women and girls in Kajiado are experiencing challenges that I went through. And I remember using my own story to tell them that all these challenges that you're going through, it is not the end of life. You can change this situation. You can be assertive. You can speak up and change all these cultural practices, the harmful ones that women and girls are experiencing. Thank you so much.
Yes, and finally, Michael.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Michael Osore. I work with Ujamaa Africa as a lead program coordinator for boys program. And mine, I will not say much. I can say Ujamaa is really giving boys an opportunity to do the right thing. The community has given them every reason to do the wrong thing, but as Ujamaa Africa, we want to sensitize them. We want to make them and do away with the previous socialization that made them believe that it is all about them. We want them to have the right attitude and do away with toxic masculinity and embrace the heroic kind of mentality so that they can stand up for the women and the girls in the community. So I will not say much because I'll have a chance to talk about the boys program, but I believe by the time we are done here, we will be transformed and empowered and look at our community in a different way. Welcome, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I always want to take that honor for them to introduce themselves because we actually forget their journey, which is really why we are here. When we talk about achievements, we cannot talk about them without the young people, because it's all about them creating that change in their community. My name is Jacqueline Mwaniki. I'm the personnel director of Ujamaa Africa. I'm really happy. It's a place that I've worked for the last over 15 years now, because I joined when I was 20 as a volunteer. I used to train empowerment, self-defense in my community. So that is why I'm always passionate about working with the young people. I grew up in not in Westlands, not in Runda, not in where we are. I grew up again in another slum called Dandora. So all these, as you can see, we're not from uptown. Actually, we are from where, like when you talk about assault, like we understand. So when I was in that room and I was hearing people talk about their experiences, like these are shoes that we've walked in. We have seen girls and boys coming up to say, hey, we need to change this. When we talk about policy, we are seeing boys and saying, hey, we need to change this policy. They're taking these spaces to change their communities. Ujamaa is an non-governmental organization, and we prevent sexual and gender-based violence with a direct focus to sexual assault. We began by training girls in Nairobi slum in the year 2010, where we could send trainers in schools and train 6 weeks of 12 curriculum of empowerment, transformation training that we're about to see today. Using this model, every year we could reach 40 to 50,000 learners every year. Every year. And through this, we're able to expand our programs to Malawi, Somalia, and South Sudan. And it's a place that we have seen young people advocating for their spaces. 4 years ago, we realized we cannot actually do this because we want to reach as many children as possible. We envision a society that is free from violence against women and children. That is what we want to see. And since we could not do that, we teamed up with the Ministry of Education, where we are training teachers the same curriculum, empowerment, transformation training, for them to be able to train in their own schools. As we speak, by the end of this year, we shall have trained 5,000 teachers through the Ministry of Education, who will be able to reach 1 million learners in their schools by the end of this year. So we're talking about girls and boys in the institutions at the age of 9 or at the age of 10 to 19 years who will receive these life-saving skills in their schools. By next year, we shall be talking about 2 million learners. 2 million learners. And every year, forever. Because the more we go, we shall be training as many teachers as possible. And as you look around the room, this is how we're going to scale up, because we want to go into all the counties in Kenya. Right now, we're only in 14 counties, and this is how we're going to scale our interventions across Kenya and Malawi and Somalia, the countries that we work in. And maybe you're wondering, we're talking about empowerment, transformation skills. Hey, come on, you're speaking too much. What is it that you do? So this is how we do it. We have a curriculum that we call Empowerment Transformation Training. It has 2 programs. We also work with boys, where they're challenging the negative masculinity, the gender norms. We are encouraging boys to stand up and stop assault against women and children in their community. So we have another curriculum that Michael and Peter shall be talking about, the hero in me, because we want to see the hero. We believe they are heroes in their own special ways. So I'm going to talk about girls' empowerment, self-defense. This is a curriculum that has been put together for girls and women who are at a very high risk of sexual assault. Because we've realized globally, in East Africa, cases of incidences of rape, they are very high. And these are some of the things that we have noticed. Everywhere we work, 1 in 5 girls secondary school going girls, actually they are assaulted, they are raped every single year. And that is why we're training them on how to stand up for themselves.
Sorry, Jackie, I'm just wondering if I could add like a tiny bit of framing for the funders in the room, which is to say that from a safeguarding perspective, the reason why SIF proposed this session is that we find that often when we're thinking about safeguarding, we're thinking about it from the point of view of assuming that or hoping that no girl or no child will ever get into a situation that is harmful, and designing our safeguarding around that just pure prevention, and then not thinking about what happens if they do end up in a situation that's harmful, but certainly treating it as kind of the worst thing that could possibly happen. And so we're really interested in Ujamaa and suggested this session because Ujamaa's approach recognises that we live in an imperfect world and that harm does happen, and kind of equips girls and boys to deal with those, recognise those situations and deal with them themselves. So that's kind of the framework for why we had suggested this. Sorry, I forgot to mention it earlier, and I thought that now before you started talking about it was a good time.
Thank you. Yes, we talk about safeguarding, safe schools, safe environment. But you're saying at the point of attack, the girl is alone. She's all alone. What is it that she can do? So we have a curriculum that is called Girls Empowerment Self-Defense. It has 3 components, and the first one is self-empowerment. We want women and girls to be empowered. We've realized we want them to take charge of their goals, education goals, taking charge of their health. We want girls to stand up and take charge, defend their rights, because we have rights. Our second component in our curriculum is called self-efficacy. This is where we're talking about girls having challenges, but then how do we overcome whenever we encounter these challenges? Because many a times you find girls, whenever they encounter a challenge, they see it as a roadblock. They can't move. But we're saying, hey, if you get a challenge, how do you overcome from that? So we're talking about boundary setting. We're talking about girls standing up, defending their spaces. Girls standing up, using their voices. Because we've realized our voices are very effective. Our third component in our curriculum is the self-defense. Many times whenever we talk about self-defense, people picture fighting, punching, They expect Jackie to be very fit for and, coming up with, safety belts, But that is not it. We define self-defense as anything you do, say, or believe that can help you keep safe. Anything you do, what is it that you can do to keep safe?
Such an overwhelming topic. But one thing that you can do is, as you're saying, sort of educate yourself on how to defend yourself, and also perhaps be with someone else who can join you in that.
Thank you. Yes, educating yourself. Sorry,
Don.
Yes, Don. What is it that you can say? How can you use your voice in a situation where you're in attack? How can you use
Where I'm under attack. It depends on the context, right? I think in situations where I found myself, or friends have found themselves, sometimes it makes sense to run fast. Sometimes that won't work. Sometimes confrontation is unavoidable. It's not the best outcome, but to know how to use your body to save yourself so important. I don't think about violence in any way, but especially in a male setting, that's often the case.
Thank you so much for sharing. Anything that you can say, it could be lying. Young girls can lie, hey, there comes my mommy. That is self-defense. Yelling. Women, we don't want to yell. We don't want to use our voices. We're in these places, you're assaulted, and you're trying to be nice. You're telling girls, hey, come on. You don't have to be nice when you're being assaulted. Yell, no, don't touch my breast. Don't touch my buttocks. Because the perpetrator actually is looking at someone who is silent. Someone who will not tell. We're telling girls, come on, raise your voice, yell. If you see that man coming on your way and you're in danger, just like, there comes my daddy, and holding on to this man until you are safe, that is self-defense. Running, like you're saying, that is self-defense. You're walking along the street and you're avoiding confrontation, just crossing this other side of the street, that is self-defense. But most importantly, we want women and girls to believe in themselves, to believe that I am one defending. I will do anything to defend myself. I will yell, I will lie, I will negotiate, I will do anything to defend myself. Because you're saying it is not about me, it is about calling attention for myself. People need to know. One of the things that we have realized, the power for perpetrator to continue dominating, controlling, and assaulting us, it all depends on our silence. And that is why we want girls to speak up. We want women to rise up and speak up about the issues that they are going through. Unfortunately, girls in our communities actually do not know what is an assault. I don't know if the girls in your community do.
I suspect they do and would be more verbal about it.
It's so unfortunate in Africa. Our society has normalized everything. Someone touches your buttons like that. Come on, that is normal. Someone crosses your space and they don't want you to talk about it. They actually don't even know. Even not calling, that is an assault. And that is why we have the attack progression scale for women and girls to know, hey, when we talk about assault, what are we really talking about? We are saying that testing, that is an assault. But young girls at the age of 10, they do not really know, like, that is an assault. So I'm going to call Nahima to take us through this banner and help us understand. How do we understand when you talk about assault? Yes?
I just want to say I actually think it's a global thing. I don't think it's specific to this continent. It's everywhere. I've worked in many, many, many places, including New York with girls, and I think it's true in a lot of places that they don't know.
They don't know.
Or they don't know they have the right to say their word.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you so much. I know we are very restricted on time, but I want you to stand up for 2 minutes, then sit down. Just stand up, then sit down.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. You know, when you sit after lunch, sometimes people tend to, yeah, you can just stand up, then you sit down. As I continue, I'm going to take you through attack progression scales. You can sit down. Feel free to sit down. Yes. This is the banner that we define it. Attack progression scale. This is the banner that illustrates different forms of assault that women and girls go through in their day-to-day lives. Even you as a woman that you're sitting here, maybe in your lifetime you have undergone one or even many forms of assault that are illustrated here, okay? As we continue, you can realize like, okay, maybe that one, it has happened, okay? So this banner illustrates different forms of assault that women and girls go through in their day-to-day lives. It is divided into 3 parts. When I stand here, you can see, right?
Yeah.
The first part is verbal. Now this is whereby the assailant is using words, using his voice to assault a girl. Like for example, testing. Testing. I can ask a man in this room, have you ever tested a lady like, hi, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Have you? Sir, have you ever tested someone like, can I buy you a coffee? It has to my breast. Maybe, say in that role play, we call it trickery. Lies or trickery. We don't want our girls to lie, but in an assault situation, you can use trickery to your advantage.
Yeah.
If this person is trying to assault you, then you see a man coming from that direction. There comes my uncle. There comes the police, just for that man to be distracted. And you remember your safety aim is to get away. If he's just taking like this with that uncle, remember your safety aim is to get away from that situation as fast as possible. So use the trickery role play to your advantage, saying that there comes my mom, there comes the police, there comes my uncle, even if he's not your uncle, so that you can distract, and then our safety aim is to get away. The second role play is at the intimidation part. When this person is inflicting fear in the girl, let's see how she'll be able to use her voice again to defend herself.
Young man, I've noticed you're following me.
Me following you?
Yes,
Are
you're
you
following
mad?
me.
Use your common sense and walk.
Yes, madam. What did you understand from that scenario?
So, what I've actually observed is that she was able to protect herself by shouting at the yeah, before actually it happened. So it was a preventive measure before it happened.
Thank you very much. So that role play, we call it yelling no. You know why? Because we don't want girls and women to shout. Because when you're bad, like someone steals your bag, what happens?
You shout.
You shout, right? But we want you to yell no and call attention to the people. Hey, come, look at this man is wearing a black t-shirt. You know, everyone will be like, who is that black t-shirt man who is doing this to the young girl, to this woman? Because we say that our silence is the one which making the assault progress. Because when we decide to use our voice, then no one can be able to assault any girl. The third role play now will be at the physical part. Now the body of the assailant and the body of the girl is in contact. Let's see what will happen.
Don't you dare touch my buttocks again!
Alice, like if someone touches your butt, can you, in the street, like can you be able to name it?
Yeah, that surprised me actually, because normally I wouldn't.
You will not?
Yeah, but like, yeah, I can see that it's a good idea, but like, in that moment, I wouldn't think so.
Very nice. Yes, because you know, in African culture, we are brought up like we're not supposed to mention our private part. You know, even your own mom will not be able to tell you that this is your breast, this is your vagina, this is your. No, she will not be able to tell you. But we say that for this assault to end, if this person is touching your breast, don't touch it. Don't tell him, don't touch me here. Tell him, don't touch my breast. Don't touch my. Very nice. So, because of time, let me end it at that point and welcome Jackie because of time.
Yes. On the last question, to run away where? We're talking about assault situation. We want girls to get out of that attack situation. Yes, we give resources where to get help. But at that point where you're being assaulted, we want them to get out of that attack situation. Another thing, we want women to see their bodies differently. Can you fight?
Yes.
Yes, you can fight. Do you believe you can fight? She's 50-50. She's like, oh yeah. We want girls to view their bodies differently, as having weapons, and the man's target, the male's body as having targets. And this is where we're training now the physical bit. We're telling women, hey, if you've used your voice and they seem not to respect that, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to defend yourself. And how do you do that? Today we are going to focus on 4 primary targets. The 4 primary targets that the attacker has, all right? We have the eyes, the throat, the groins, and the knee. We are telling girls, hey, your fingers can poke the eyes. You can use 2 fingers to poke the eyes. Your hands, your fists can grab, squeeze, and pull the groins as you get away. Your heel can become a weapon and break the knee. We're telling you, hey, your fist can become a weapon and target the throat and get away, because our goal is to get away. We want girls to feel, hey, I do not only have the voice, but I can use actually my physical, my parts, the parts of my body to fight. So I'm going to do this in full force. This is not it's not a perpetrator. It's just a demonstration. Please should not anyone call for arrest. Yeah, so we have the 2 fingers that we use to poke the eyes and then grab the groin. So we are telling the girls, hey, you can poke and grab at the same time. We call it a high-low concept. Okay? So I'm going to demo it in focus. No! 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 Our goal is to walk away. We want girls to be able to yell, because we are telling them, hey, you need to call attention for people to know what is happening here. Alright? For the fist, we target the throat and use our heel to break the knee. Okay? No! 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 I do not want to demo it in the real, because I might end up with my colleague without having a part of his body. I know you're wondering, what if I am grabbed? Because this is actually happening with small girls. Like they are grabbed and they struggle and they struggle, and the perpetrator is waiting for them to just get tired, and they're like, okay, fine, okay, let's go. We're telling girls, hey, at this point where you're grabbed, all you have to do is check the hand that is holding you. There's a gap in between the 4 fingers and the thumb. Only thing you have to do is just twist your hand against the thumb. I know guys are wondering how is that come? Let us see if, we might be talking of something that is not working. I want you to grab me with all your might and strength.
I'm not that strong.
Okay. Yes, imagine you want to assault.
I can actually feel you right now.
Okay.
You're stronger than me.
Yes, I want you to grab.
All right.
You have, with all your strength and your mind.
Yeah.
No!
Sure.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I know Don is wondering. Yes? Okay. Oh, Don decided to hold my both hands. And I'm like, oh, please Don, come on, let me go. No! Alright? Is it effective?
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Yes. And sometimes you realize they are grabbed in both hands. Now, what do I do at this particular moment? Alright? We're telling women, hey, come on. All you have to do as you negotiate, remember we've trained them how to use their voice. As you negotiate, you're asking, what do you want? Come on, I don't want, fine, I don't want to come with you. No problem, me, I don't want it. As you negotiate, you're trying to hold this other hand as you release, alright? And our goal is to get away. I know you're wondering, how is that? Come on, let's try and see what's possible. Actually, I'll ask Peter to hold you.
Please be notified. Please be notified. I'm going to hold you tightly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to keep you tightly. So, yes, so the first thing you do, you make a stance for you to be stable, and then as you negotiate, I want you to hold this other hand. Yes. Yes, and then you pull against the thumbs. No, be careful not to hit yourself.
Yeah.
Please, let me go.
No, come on, wait. A bit.
Oh, stand. Yes, we do not want the girls. Actually, we totally emphasize on making sure that you're always firm, to make sure when you get out of this hole, because this is what I always want women and girls to picture. At this point, you're free. The assailant might come back to you. You need to be prepared to fight back, all right? So we need them to be very stable, stance, and yell no, because we want to call for attention. So this is just but a few physical bits. I just wish we had time, we could have tried all of us. But now, again, I said we involve boys. So I'm going to give Michael the few minutes that are remaining to talk about the boys program. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. So good afternoon once again. As you have been told, my name is Michael, and I'll be taking you through just an introduction, because this is a 12-hour program, so you can imagine I've been given 2 minutes. Will it be possible for me to take you through the entire content?
Yes.
No, but I'll try my level best. So for the boys, actually we have a program, that is the second prong, that is called Hero in Me. So what is hero in me? We define a hero in me as someone who turns, or a hero as someone who turns negative to positive. So there's so many negative situations, there's so many negative things that are happening in our community, in our surrounding, that we would love to see boys turn them from negative to positive. So we have a program that we take boys through. The same program runs concurrently with the girls program, as girls are being taught on this one end, girls are also being taught on the other end. So Hero in Me is a 6-session gender-based violence prevention program that aims to build on the success of the girls program by using the same empowerment and skill-based model to change the negative perceptions that boys have around women, and also to tell boys that they can be the change they want to see in the community. We as Ujamaa Africa, we believe that boys are good people and they want to do the right thing. But because of the socialization, because of different upbringing and the community they are being brought up in, they end up learning negative things, they end up despising women, they end up treating women like second class. We don't want boys to continue with that mentality as they grow up. We want to change that. So the Hero in Me turns the boys' perspective from the toxic masculinity so that they can embrace now the heroic part of it. We want boys to embrace the heroic side of all this. And that's why we named our curriculum as Hero in Me, because we want boys to be heroes. Are we together? When you look at this step-up continuum, you can see someone is trying to do something with his shirt, isn't it? You want to understand what that is all about? In a minute you'll get to understand. It is Hero in Me. So the curriculum aims to address key 3 themes. Number 1, we want to reshape boys' harmful beliefs around gender and sexuality. Boys believe that because they are boys, they are more stronger, they are more muscular than women. We don't want that to be the case. We want boys to look at women as the equal partner. So the curriculum advocates for gender equity and also reshapes and wants to replace their toxic masculinity and replace it with positive masculinity. Number 2, we want to increase the likelihood that boys ask for consent. In many cases, boys and men, they don't ask for permission, isn't it? Or do they ask for permission, if I may ask ladies in the room? Are men in your life every now and then asking for permission? Maybe they want to. Do they ask for permission? Rarely, isn't it? And how will you feel when a man comes to you and he asks for permission? Before he doesn't.
Surprise.
You'll feel surprised, you'll feel surprised, isn't it? But would you love men to start asking for permission? Sure. Yes, that is what we are trying to tell boys, that it is okay to ask for permission. And how do we do this? We start teaching them from that lower age. For example, when they're in class, we start telling them that it is good to ask for permission, not just take. So we introduce a concept called asking versus taking. You're a boy, you're in a class, you don't have a pen, your school deskmate, who happens to be a lady or a girl, has 2. What will you do? Because you're a boy, will you just go ahead and pick and maybe take, or you will ask for permission? Most of them will be like, no, we just pick, we are boys, what will she do? She can't beat me, so I just pick. We tell them, no, that is not right. For you to be a hero, you need to start by asking for permission. Ask her, can I have, may I have your extra pencil that I can use because I don't have mine?
So from the girls' manner, you would have noticed that this is what happens. If a person says hi to you, he might have good intention, hi. But if he has bad intention, He will say hi. If you don't respond, he'll go online and he'll say hi. So if you notice this, we tell the girls and the boys, please involve an adult, involve a teacher. Tell to the teacher that no, this co-worker or this person has been coming into my private space. He's saying hi. So we are telling them to raise an alarm. If they notice a red flag, if they notice anything out of the ordinary, they need to be safe. This community with us. Yes.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. We shall be also having a site visit on Friday from 8:30. We would really love you to come. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. We have so many materials. We have all these. We can take you through like our journey, what you're doing currently, and what our projections are for the next 6 years. So please feel free to interact with either of us, and we will be happy to talk about